have watched my previous tutorials on the front lever and the planche, you will easily recognize this also as another type of third-class lever. This means that we have a mechanical disadvantage and that in order to overcome gravity we have to exert a great amount of force. This force is also directly proportional to the distance between your pivot point, or fulcrum, and the center of mass. The greater the distance, the bigger the effort required. Having said that, it is also true that the back lever is way easier compared to its front counterpart, the front lever, even though they both belong to the Type 3 class. This is explained by the fact that the shoulder joint allows a much bigger range of motion in the forward flexion of the arm than in the back extension. So the shoulders are much more stable in the back lever position because their limited range of motion stop the arms and the trunk to separate too much. From the anatomical point of view, the muscles most directly involved in a back lever are the deltoids, especially the anterior deltoids, with the assistance of the biceps. There is also a minor activation of the trapezius on the lower back, but all in all, most of the strength comes from the shoulder muscles. As you know, the back lever puts the shoulder joint through a rather unnatural and awkward stance. If range of motion in this area is limited, there will be an increased risk of injury. A good shoulder mobility and the ability to move its joint around a range of motion greater than usual is one of the most basic requirements. Directly ensuing is the ability to roll your body forward and backwards in the hanging position, which in gymnastics is called skin the cat. This exercise requires a good deal of core activation as well as stability in the upper trunk. And as always, strength is a key to success. And because deltoids are the muscles that take most of the effort in the back lever, shoulder strength is vital. In this case, you should be able to do a few rings or bar dips as a basic strength requirement. Just to clarify, dips are not directly connected to the back lever, but are anyway a good predictor of anterior deltoid strength, which is basic for the back lever. The setup of this exercise consists first in getting to a face down hanging position with the arms extended behind your back. To reach this position, you must get your hips over your head in a back roll motion. From there, you can approach the lever in two ways. You either stretch your legs out from the tuck position, which is the easiest way, or you start with a fully extended stance from the upside down position and bring your body horizontal, which is harder but surely more elegant. You can use both gymnastic rings or a pull-up bar, but if you are a beginner, I suggest you start out with gymnastic rings. First, because the grip is more gentle on the wrists. Second, because it's easier to get your feet passed in between your arms when rolling backwards. And third, it's safer because you can place the rings low and close to the ground. In order to get into good horizontal alignment, you must lift your head and press your feet together to stabilize your lower body. And most importantly, you must obtain the protraction of the scapulae by pressing down your arms towards your back as hard as you can. Why is scapular protraction important? If a force is pulling the arms backwards, as in the case of the back lever, it will cause the scapulae or shoulder blades to move closer to one another and towards the spine. This is called scapular retraction. As you can see, this position of the shoulder blades leads to an excessive arching of the back, which will put too much pressure on intervertebral discs, as well as creating an incorrect and awkward posture in the back lever. To avoid this, you must push the arms to the opposite direction, driving the shoulder blades away from the spine. This is called scapular protraction and will help stabilize the trunk and keep the back and also the rest of the body more straight and aligned. Let's now have a look at the progression for the back lever. First of all, I would strongly suggest to use gymnastic rings to start out. As I mentioned earlier, they're safer to use than the bar and will allow an easier grip. The first step is to master the skin the cat exercise. If you feel uncomfortable with rolling upside down in the hanging position, start practicing the exercise with your feet on the floor. This will help you get a feel of the movement and assess your range of motion safely. Once you get more confident, bring the rings higher so you will be in the full hanging position without touching the floor. Begin by keeping a tucked position, then straighten your legs once you build up enough strength and core activation. And finally, you can do the same on a pull-up bar, which is slightly harder because of the reduced space to pass the feet up through the arms. From here, the most logical progression is to gradually increase your body length to the fully extended position, so to increase the distance between the pivot point and the center of mass. Starting from the tuck position with your knees close to your chest, we move to half body length with the legs stretched down towards the ground. Following, we'll lift the feet up and move the knees away from the chest. This is the advanced tuck position. Then we bring the body to 3/4 of the full length, and finally to the fully extended position. And of course you can do the same progression using the straight pull-up bar. If you find yourself stuck at some stage in this progression, a good idea is to use some assistance to get past your plateau. It will also help you get a feel of the exercise in the fully extended position, as well as strengthen the same body parts that are used in the back lever. The assistance consists in using an elastic band to support part of your body weight. In this specific instance, I suggest you use a band with a flat surface rather than a tubular one, as it will be more comfortable to rest your hip on. Place the rings at hip height and wrap the band a few times around one ring to secure one end, then place the other end on top of the other ring. Bear in mind that the band shouldn't be too loose, otherwise it will be too low for you to be able to rest on it. Then hold on the rings firmly and go straight into the back lever position with the elastic band holding you at approximately hip level. Make sure that you are well aligned and horizontal. If one band is not enough to support your weight, join one or more bands together to create a higher resistance. Once you're comfortable with this, you can use a different approach. This time, instead of going directly face down, you set the rings higher and do a back roll to get to the back lever position. Here, you do the whole backward roll and use no assistance of the band until you have reached the horizontal position. The training and conditioning for the back lever has to focus on improving those basic skills I've discussed earlier. The first point is to maintain shoulder mobility through proper stretching. Here is a stretch you can do using rings to get the body accustomed to the backwards extension of the arms that you'll have in the back lever. The skin the cat is a very good exercise, not just for the back lever specifically, but also in general to attain a full range of motion in the shoulder, core activation, basic ring strength, as well as control and coordination. And as I've said earlier, key to your progress in the back lever, as well as in most gymnastic type exercises, is shoulder strength. A good way to work this is with dips. Start doing them with just your body weight, then progressively add weight as you get stronger. You can do them on both parallel bars or gymnastic rings, although rings have the advantage of adding instability, which will make the exercise harder. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you liked it and you want to keep up to date with more tutorials and videos.